And there we go. Welcome. This is Yoga for Cancer, and I'm Rebecca. And I welcome you on this beautiful day in Atlanta, yet another beautiful day. And today we're going to be continuing our series of learning to listen to the wisdom of the body. And today we will be listening to the wisdom of the breath. So we always start with a short breath-focused meditation. So what does focusing on the breath tell us? We can check in with where we are, beginning to drop into the body to embody awareness. We float into the body through the breath, bringing in what we need, feeling the energy of the inhale, and letting go of what isn't serving us, feeling the release of the exhale. So as you breathe today, listen to what the breath can tell you about spaciousness and expansion, about surrender and grounding. Flow along with the breath and listen. So find your comfortable posture in a place where you can sit up nice and tall. One of my teachers says it's you sit with an elegant spine. I love that. Allow your eyes to close or take a soft gaze and begin to arrive in this place and time with your body and breath. Beginning to notice sensation, feeling your hands in your lap, your feet on the ground, your bottom in the chair, all of the textures. Pardon me, I got the coughs today. All of your textures around you. What do you feel? What's warm and what feels cool? What is smooth and what has more texture? What is firm and what feels squishy? Beginning to notice your sensory environment and then how you interact with your environment. Can you sit firmly grounded in your seat? Can you rise up with energy from your seat, reaching the crown of your head towards the sky? Begin to turn your attention inward to the movement of breath in your body. Noticing the inhale and its movement towards filling up, expanding the inner body. Noticing the exhale, the release, the letting go, the surrender. Begin to follow your breath from that first moment of inhale all the way to fullness. The moment that the inhale becomes the exhale, all the way to empty, and the body's decision to breathe again. Following the breath. Now let's grow the breath by dropping deeply into the belly, softening the belly to receive the fullness, the depth of the breath. From here, we'll move from the belly to the rib cage. Can you expand your ribs to the sides and even to the back to find the full width of the breath? So breathe into belly, then to ribs, and at the top of your inhale, feel the heart lift. Let the breath come all the way up to the collarbones, gently, but with fullness. And then release the breath, chest, ribs, belly. This is the three-part yoga breath we call Dirga breath. Inhaling to belly, ribs, chest. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Stay with this 3-part breath. Each inhale, deeper, wider, and taller. Each exhale, more complete. Let's take 5 breaths. And on your 5th exhale, soften and release control of the breath, floating back into your natural breathing rhythm. We say notice what's changed. It's very difficult to notice the breath without changing it. So just be aware of what is happening now. And we'll move on with some movement, adding our sun breaths. As you inhale, float the arms up, palms up. Exhale, turn the palms down and softly float the arms down. Can you feel this connection of the movement and the breath, working with your breath speed so it takes the whole exhale for the arms to float down and the whole inhale for the arms to float up, making that connection between movement and breath. Do 2 more. How does the arm movement help you with the breath, the lifting? This time, as we reach up, hold for just a moment and then lower the right arm, come up and over with the left. Let's hold here for a moment and do some wrist circles. You can just barely see, there's my wrist. And go in the other direction. And then we'll move into arm circles. So inhale here and then exhale and release the arm down. Inhale it up and around, and exhale, it floats down. 2 more. Inhaling up and exhale down. And last one. Inhale up and exhale down. Let's reverse direction. Inhale, open. Release it down on the exhale. As you inhale and open, can you turn your heart towards the ceiling just a little bit, finding that nice opening in the chest? And on our next one, we'll use it to come up and over to the other side. Holding here, we'll move into wrist circles first, circling the hands in both directions. Inhale and reach, and exhale, release. Begin the circles, inhaling up and exhaling down. Bringing this movement into the body, this movement with the breath. Let's reverse. Inhale, see if you can turn and open a little bit on this side as well. Maybe this side is different. Is it freer or a little more constricted? What do you notice? And we'll use the next one to come up and over. your hands right behind you, maybe on your cushion or the floor, and press in. Can you lift your heart? Don't drop your head. Reach through the crown, but open up across the shoulders, the fronts of the shoulders, the collarbone. Open the heart. One more inhale and gently release, making some space so that breath can be full. Let's move into our twist. Inhaling, grow tall. Exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. This is the setup. Then we inhale again, get tall, and squeeze and turn on the exhale. Inhale back through center. Exhale to the setup. Inhale, create the space, and then exhale, twist, squeeze, and turn. And we'll do that a few times to each side. One more time to each side. And this, or the next time that you come through center, pause here. I'll move this back so I have a little bit more visibility. Let me just scoot back even more. And sitting in your cross-legged position, if that's comfortable for you, let's try a seated cat and cow. Starting with hands on your knees, inhale in place, and then exhale, tuck your tailbone, draw your belly in, lean back, let the head come forward, hold on to your knees for support. Start to roll the pelvis forward, open the belly, lift the heart, reach through the crown of the head on the inhale, and exhale, reversing. Take your time moving through this pelvic tilt that moves into a ripple up the spine. Can you get the movement of the pelvis first? And then the spine flows along like a feather or a ribbon, maybe. Stay with this movement or add a side circle, side back, moving the ribs separate from the pelvis, creating some space. Reverse direction if you're circling. And end up in the center, just a couple more, forward and back. Excellent. I'm going to remove my cushion and sit back. I'll walk my feet out in front, wide, resting on my hands. Stay here for a moment and take another heart opener, lifting your heart, reaching through the crown of the head. And then we'll move into crow crawl. Inhale in place and then exhale and drop your knees to one side. Inhale up through center and knees drop to the other side. Have your feet wide enough apart so that your knee can come inside the foot. So both knees can make their way down if that feels okay in your body. Stay like this or add the twist by releasing your arm and coming all the way around. Stay with this or add the lift as you come to the side. Lift your hips, reach through your arm. Bring your seat back down, move to the other side, and inhale up. Once more to each side, whatever version you're doing. And come back through center. Extend your your legs, your arms behind you. Extend your legs out in front. Little bounces, and maybe just a little windshield wiper. And we'll move to hands and knees, coming to tabletop. So make sure that you have something underneath your knees so that you don't create any discomfort or pain. Begin to set up your table, maybe hands underneath your wrists, knees under your hips. If it's not comfortable to have your hands on the floor, then you can make fists and let your thumbs point forward or come down on to forearms. Take a moment, find your table pose, and then we'll move into cat and cow in this different orientation. We still start with the pelvis though. Inhale, lift your tail. Soften your belly, reach up with the crown of the head. As you exhale, tuck your tail, belly draws up and in, release your head. Start with the tail lifting and then ripple up the spine. Start with your tail tucking and then ripple up the spine. Take a few more passes here. And this or the next time that you come to stillness with a neutral pelvis, pause right here. I'm going to just do some simple C curves by turning and looking over your left shoulder and bring your left hip forward. So you feel a little compression on that side of the body and maybe a stretch on the other side. Inhale through center and look and wag to the other side. One more to each side. Exhale, turn and look, pop your hip. Inhale through center and exhale to the other side. Come back through center. Let's extend the left leg, pressing out through the heel. Maybe we add the opposite arm, reaching, and we'll hold for 3, 2, 1. Place your hand down, your toes down. Now we're going to go into that side plank. So bring your other toes behind you as you begin to open to the side. You can always stay in bird dog or table if this doesn't work for you. Hold here or try reaching bicep by your ear. Maybe your leg floats up. Replace the foot, the hand, the knee, and just a little wiggle waggle. And we'll move to the other side, extending the right leg, maybe the left arm. And we hold, building strength for 3, 2, 1. Lower the hand, lower the toes, keep the leg extended. Bring the other, you're pivoting, right, your leg so that your foot comes behind you like a kickstand. And then pivot on the other foot to open up into this version of side plank. Hold here or add the long reach and maybe the leg floats up. Lower your foot, your hand, your knee, and we'll press back into child's pose. Maybe toes together, knees wider apart. For some people, it feels good to keep your knees closer together. Allow your head to float down to the ground. maybe onto stacked hands or fists, or even the edge of a cushion, wherever you can find comfort in this position. Child's pose is not for everyone. For some people, it's a really gentle resting pose, and for others, it feels impossible or like a very big stretch. So notice what your breath does in this pose. Inhaling into the back body as the front body is more compressed. Exhaling, can you sink your hips a little more towards your heels? One more big breath here. And soften and sink. And then carefully walk back into your table, and we'll make our way up to standing. Maybe bringing one foot forward, curl my toes under, hands on my knee. I can press and step up to standing. So go ahead and begin to find your Tadasana or mountain pose. Feet about hip distance apart. Mats are all misaligned today. Okay, so feet about hip distance apart and underneath your hips. We'll shake out a little bit and then reach down through fingertips and up through the crown of the head. Can you find your breath? Where does it flow from and to in this position? Can you use the breath to elongate your spine, getting taller? Can you use the breath to sink and ground, feeling that sensation of the mountain that does not yield? 2 more breaths. Last one. Beautiful. We're going to work with the sequence of crane and crescent. I need to move my table out of the way. Oh. So in this sequence, we will step into our crane pose, standing on one leg, lifting up and having our nice wings. And then we'll step back on a railroad track, right? Not behind, ball of the foot, or turning out a little bit, heel can come down, front knee bends, and we find our way into warrior one or crescent warrior. Let me show you from the side. We start in mountain, inhale to our crane pose, step back, ball of the foot, front knee bends over the ankle, and reach up to crescent. Okay, so we're going to move between those two poses together. Inhale to crescent, to crane. Exhale to crescent. Same side. Inhale, whoop, wobble, and exhale. Helps to have a focal point or hands on a support. Inhale to crane. Exhale to crescent. And this time we'll just step up back to mountain pose. I cannot get everything's off today. Just a little bit. There we go. That works a little better. All right, one more time. We have the other side. Let us inhale to crane. Find your balance. Step back to crescent. Inhale up to crane. Exhale to crescent. 2 more. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Last time. Inhale up and exhale back. Step back up to your mountain. Beautiful. So using that as our gateway into our next sequence, we're going to do some step backs into warrior one, and then open, twist, and then open into warrior two. So make sure you have enough space around you. Starting from your mountain pose, let's step back with the left leg, similar to what we just did, finding that crescent warrior. You can step back maybe a little bit further here, but maybe not. Front knee is over the ankle. You're on the ball of the back foot. You can see both of my legs, right? They're not behind each other. I'm pressing back through my left heel, lifting and opening. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to take a twist. So bring your right arm forward and your left arm back. Inhale back to center and the other way, twisting towards the bent knee. Inhale back. One more time to the open side. And this time, place your left foot down, your heel down, and open into warrior two. So usually I'm turned to the side when I'm showing you warrior two. This time you're seeing me face on, but maybe I'll just turn. So warrior two, we have that angled back leg, the heel pressing down. The front leg and is turned out at the hip. Knee is bent right over the ankle. Arms at shoulder height. Turn and look over your front fingertips. We're going to hold. Inhale and exhale. See if you can find the seat of the pose. Can you drop into it and find a position of ease within the work that we're doing here in Warrior Two? One more breath. And now, here's the tricky part. We're going to pivot onto our back foot and maybe step up a little. I need to find our way back into our crescent warrior. Exhale and step up. Beautiful. Let's do it on the other side. Need to walk out. I'm going to stay facing forward this time. So let's inhale in place. Exhale, step back, finding crescent on this side. Pressing back through your heel, front knee is right over the ankle. See how it's tracking over the middle toes, so my knee's not dropping in or out. Right over the center. Same with the heel, pressing straight back. In this position, we're thinking of the right hip coming forward, the left hip drawing back. Inhale and open your heart. We're going to do our twists. Inhale up. This time, left arm forward, right arm back to the open side. Inhale through center. Exhale the other way, twisting towards the bent knee side. Inhale up. Exhale one more time, and this time we pivot and bring our back heel down, finding warrior two. Do whatever readjustments you need to do to find your warrior two. Same idea here, the knee is tracking right over the toes. Opening from the hip. Reach through your fingertips, look out over your middle finger. Inhale in place, exhale. Can you find the seat of the pose? Can you find a position of stillness, of ease, where the breath can flow? One more breath. And now we do our pivot, coming up onto the ball of the back foot. We turn forward and end in our crescent. Inhale here, exhale, step up to mountain. Whew, beautiful, beautiful job. Let's do one more balancing pose. So finding your mountain, Take a moment to look ahead of you and find your drishti, your focal point. Really feel the connection of your feet to the ground as if you're growing roots. That's a hint. So press down into your left leg, float the right leg up, turn out at the hip, and place your foot somewhere along the inner leg, just avoiding the knee. Try not to pop your hip out. Try and get nice and up. Let's see if I can do it today. Up and over, struggling, your leg. So when I struggle, I'll bring my toe down so that I can get the position and still have the intent of the pose. So from here, begin to draw the energy up from the ground through heart center. Stay here, or maybe grow branches. When I grow my branches, I tend to lift my gaze a little higher, opening the heart. Find the breath. 2 more. Last one. And exhale, 2 feet down, hands at heart center. Walk it out. I get to have pain in my feet sometimes, and sometimes there are treatments that can create neuropathies in the feet. So be kind and work as you need to. When I'm holding a pose, if you need to come out, just put your foot down, maybe shake it out, and then come right back in, right? Okay, so from here, mountain pose, eyes on your focal point. Drop into the right leg, firm it up. So when you float the left up, you're nice and stable. Find your foot position. Left side seems to, my right side seems to be more stable these days. Usually it's the other side. Hold in place, draw the breath, and grow. Opening your canopy. This is going to happen sooner than we imagine. All those green leaves reaching for the sun. One more breath. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's come to stillness. We've done a lot of standing work, so pause here for a few breaths. Maybe let your eyes float closed. How does the breath help ground you, bringing you back to yourself when things are challenging? Release and shake it out. We're going to make our way back down to our seats and come into a bound angle pose. So finding your way down safely, bringing soles of feet together, knees apart. Begin to rock a little bit from side to side, noticing those hips, those glutes that have helped support us in our tree pose. Can we give them a little massage here? And then find your way to stillness. Notice now if you're tending to roll back onto your tailbone, and that's your indication to sit up higher or bring something behind you for a little more support. Sometimes just tucking the edge of this bolster under my hips is enough to give me just the support that I need. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, let the knees drop a little more, softening in the hips. Inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, soften and open. One more like this. Inhale up. And exhale, release. We're going to extend the right leg. You can help it with your arm. And bring the left in. So we have this off-center head to knee situation. For today, we're going to take a long spine forward fold, hinging at the hips. We're going to come forward over the opening, over our bent leg side. My words are not here today. So inhale, active leg. See how I'm flexing through my foot, through my ankle. Inhale and begin to walk forward. Now, what I don't want is rounding. So as soon as you feel like you have to round, that's your place to work. Pause there. Fingertips or hands, or even forearms for some of us, on the mat. Use the sticky mat to draw back and help you elongate the spine. Inhaling. Exhale, can you hinge a little further forward? Inhale, lengthen, reach, pull back as if your heart could come forward between your arms. Exhale and soften. One more breath. Inhale, use the breath to get long and strong. Exhale, release. And then walk fingertips up till you come up to standing. Let's inhale, arms up. We'll lower left and exhale the right up and away from your extended leg. Inhale through center, plant the right hand to the inside of the right leg, and then the left arm comes up and over, or it can be a shoulder or even just the body moving. This pose is technically called head to knee, but I'd like you to think instead head to toe. So it's not a little crunch to get to your knee, more like you're reaching and elongating. Inhale up through center, exhale and reach away. And one more time, inhale up and exhale over. Stay for a breath. Inhale up through center, hands behind, and switch legs. Take a moment to find the right positioning of your body, sitting up nice and tall. Make sure you can feel your sits bones beneath you. Inhale, grow tall. We're going to hinge from the hip, coming forward with a flat back. You may not come very far at all, or you may have a little more space. Fingertips, hands, or forearms to the mat. On your inhales, draw back isometrically. Let it help you extend through the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale, soften. Maybe come forward a little bit. Inhale, reach long, get strong. Exhale, soften. One more breath. Inhale, extend. And exhale, maybe there's a little bit more space. Pressing into your fingertips, walk yourself back up, sitting up tall. Inhale, arms come up, right hand down, exhale, the left away from the extended leg. Inhale, plant the hand, and exhale over whatever version is right for you. Holding for a breath or two, as if you could reach and grab your toes. Some of us can do that. And then turn and open your heart. Inhale through center, exhale away. Inhale through center and exhale over, getting a nice stretch along the whole side of the body. Inhale here, hands down. Walk your other leg out, coming into a wide seat. So sitting up on your sits bones. If you're rocking back, sit up on the edge of a blanket or a cushion, or tuck it up and under. Get nice and tall. We're going to do one more forward fold. And again, long spine, right? We're not curling. We're coming forward like a plank. Inhale and get nice and tall. And exhale, begin to walk forward. Stop when you feel as if your body is starting to round or collapse. Use your hands on the mat to pull back and reach long up through the crown of the head. Active legs, right? Don't hyperextend in your knees though. If you feel any knee pain, keep a little bend in your knees. Next, inhale, pull back to grow long. Exhale, soften. One more breath. Press into your fingertips to rise up. Walk your legs in a little closer, tiny bounces to let go in the hips, and a little windshield wiper just to release. Go ahead and slowly make your way on to your back. You can come down to the side and then carefully transition on to your back with knees bent. Take a moment here just to feel the length of your spine against the floor. Your feet, knees, hip distance apart. Walk your feet out a little bit wider toward the edges of your mat. Your arms can come out at shoulder height or goddess or cactus arms. Inhale in place and exhale, gently drop knees to the right. Inhale back through center and exhale, knees to the left. Inhale back through center. You can stay with this version of the twist, or if you'd like to try something different, walk your feet in a little closer. We're going to bring the left over the right, coming into eagle legs. Inhale, press into your right foot, lift your hips and move them over to the left. And then exhale and lower your knees to the right, letting your head turn away from your knees. If this is too much, please come out and go back to the earlier version. If this feels good, hold in place. Try to keep both shoulders firmly connected to the mat. The shoulders stay and then the knees go just as far as is comfortable. What is it like to breathe in a twist? Where does the breath go? 2 more breaths, wherever you are. And then use an inhale, press your arms into the floor and come back to center. Lift your hips and bring them right to center. If you're working with the wide leg version, move to the other side. If you're working with eagle legs, lift your right leg over your left. Press in to your left foot and shift your hips to the right. Then drop your knees to the left. Maybe your head goes to the right, away from your knees. Make sure that the right shoulder is firmly against the mat. That doesn't change. And then the knees can drop over. The way I'm situated, I have my bolster right here, so my knees are kind of landing on my bolster. That can feel really good and be really nice and supportive. So you can always come over to something. Taking 2 more breaths, whichever version you're working with. And then use an inhale to come up through center. If you're in eagle legs, release your foot to the floor, lift your hips and center them on the ground. And begin to draw your knees in, maybe rocking from side to side, releasing the practice. Take a moment now to notice if there's any additional movement your body is calling for before you move into Shavasana or rest pose. Take your time to complete your practice, tuning in to the wisdom of the body. If you're working to one side, make sure that you work to the other side as well. And then begin to make your way into your position for Shavasana. Maybe you have knees on cushions or even up over the edge of your couch or chair. Maybe legs are extended long and there's a pillow under your head and a blanket over your body. Use the breath to help you let go of the work of the practice, softening more and more with each exhale into the support beneath you. Bones are heavy, muscles melt away from bones. Soften your face, your jaw, the muscles between your eyebrows and across your forehead. Release into the breath. Breath, the mindful breath, the rhythm out and in, the wave that washes through our days, creating space for stillness, sorrow, joy, or exultation. Full, then empty, ebb and flow. Breath accompanies each step into the unknown. In the breath, the soul finds an opportunity to speak. Images or intuition, poetry or wordless wisdom come and go. No effort but to breathe and listen. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side and pause. And then press into your fingertips to bring yourself up to sitting, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with one chant of Om for the community we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other.